Hello everyone, this is Tengu Ru, and welcome back to another Dark Souls 3 boss drawing. We reached Archdragon Peak in the last episode, and faced the ancient wyvern that guarded the way to the dragon mausoleum. Our path through has put us up against many warriors that have taken the path of dragon worship. The road to the old dragons is long and arduous, and it is said that only one can complete the journey. These dragon warriors remain in constant combat, forever perfecting their skill in battle, and all is overseen by the ruler of these lands. The Nameless King was once a dragon-slaying god of war, before he sacrificed everything to ally himself with the ancient dragons. He is said to have been the heir to lightning, likely making him the lost son of Lord Gwyn. When Gwyn waged war against the everlasting dragons, his son chose to turn from dragon slaying and fought alongside the dragons. His reasoning for doing so isn't clear, but we know he allied with a storm drake that he rode into battle. It is possible that a sort of friendship formed between him and the drake that possibly led to his change of heart. After betraying his kin, he was expelled from the annals of history, and his name has long since been forgotten. When the Nameless King was still part of the pantheon of gods in Orlando, he served as a god of war, watching over the warriors of Londor. It is possible that he did so from Sen's fortress, as the fortress served as a proving ground for undead warriors, seeking admittance to the kingdom of the gods. There are also serpent men found throughout Sen's fortress, similar to the ones found throughout Archdragon Peak. If this was the case, it is possible that Sen is the name of the Nameless King, although I don't think that's the case. Gwyn's other children, Gwendolyn and Guinevere, share his namesake, so it is likely that the firstborn son of Gwyn would as well. Another theory connects him back to Dark Souls 2 and the god of war named Faram. It's possible that after being stripped of his deific status in Orlando, he traveled to Ferosa and became a god of war there. Here he fought alongside the Lion Knights that worshipped him. Although this is a possibility, there is little to support this theory. When the fight first begins, the Nameless King is riding his Storm Drake. Like its master, it also is nameless, but titled the King of Storms. In order to take it down, you're going to want to focus your attacks on its head. It takes heavy damage from hits there, so take advantage of opportunities like when he breathes fire on the ground, as that will leave his head vulnerable for quite some time, allowing you to get several hits in. It's important to study the boss's movements and attack patterns to avoid as much damage as possible. Once the King of Storms is down, the fight with the Nameless King will begin with a full health bar, so try to make it through the first half of the fight with as much Estus left as possible. Once the King of Storms is defeated, the king will claim his soul and strength, as was custom in the Age of Gods. This is very similar to what happens during the fight with Ornstein and Smough in Dark Souls 1, further reinforcing his connection to the old royalty. The Nameless King will be a different fight altogether, as his attacks are very quick, with some combos. The constant lightning damage will chip away at your health, even when blocking, so I find it best to use a light build and dodge his attacks. Having armor with decent lightning resistance wouldn't hurt either. You are probably only going to be able to get 1 or 2 hits in on him at a time, but if you keep the pressure up, it is possible to stagger him to perform a critical attack. This will be really important, as the tide can turn very quickly in this fight. His lightning strike and charge attack can deal some massive damage, and it is often difficult to find the time to heal during this fight. Once you learn the timing on his attacks and can keep the hits coming in, then you will be able to quickly take down the Nameless King. For our build, I decided to go with Havel's armor and weapons. I know I recommended a lighter build for the fight, but there are some lore connections that I thought would be important to address. You can find Havel, or one of his knights, here in Archdragon Peak, with a slain wyvern at his feet. Havel fought alongside Gwyn against the everlasting dragons, so it makes sense that he would return to what he knows best. I think it's possible that Havel might have come here with the intentions of finishing off the last of the dragons here, along with the Nameless King. He has a particular hatred for magic and dragons, and likely has some unfinished business with the son of Lord Gwyn. In Dark Souls 1, there was a hidden room in Orlando that housed Havel's gear along with an occult club, which would have been effective for fighting against gods. There's been a lot of speculation on what that means, but it could have been Havel's contingency plan should any of the other gods rebel like the son of Gwyn. With the Nameless King finished, we'll have completed our exploration of Archdragon Peak, and we'll be ready to get back to the main story. This boss was probably my favorite throughout all of the Soul series so far, so I hope you enjoyed the drawing as much as I did making it. The next fight will bring us back to Lothric Castle, where we will face off against another Dragon Slayer. If you have any suggestions on what weapons or armor you would like to see used against the Dragon Slayer armor, please let me know in the comments below. You can also feel free to share what your favorite boss from the Soul series has been. There have been a lot of great ones that came out of Dark Souls 3, so I'm sure many of them will make that list. Leave a like to help support this series, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.